Chapter 20. It was about 10 o'clock in the morning, and I was sitting in my room playing a great game of toe basketball. I was beating my own world record of 18 baskets without leaving my desk chair. Have any of you ever played toe basketball? Might be an interesting game. Toe basketball is a game I invented way back in the second grade. You wad up a piece of lined loose leaf paper and toss them all over your floor. Then you sit in your desk chair. It's better if the chair has wheels. You hold on to the bottom of the seat with your hands and scoop up the balls of paper with your toes and fling them into your waste paper basket, which you can put anywhere you want. I was on a hot streak, or should I say, my toes were. 22 baskets and only 4 misses. Sweet. Suddenly, I heard this noise coming from out in the hallway. There was yelling, screaming, and banging so loud I thought the roof was caving in. I admit it, I was scared. Our building is usually really quiet, except when my friends and I are making noise. But the noise we make is regular kid noise, running back and forth to each other's apartments using the back stairs, playing ball in the courtyard outside the basement laundry room, stuff like that. The noise didn't sound like it was being made by kids. I jumped up and ran out into the living room. Emily arrived at the same time with Catherine, the ugly, riding on her back as usual. Catherine was hissing and snapping her gray tongue around like it was a whip. Papa Pete was in the kitchen baking brownies, but he came out holding his wooden spoon to see what all the commotion was. We opened the living room door and looked into the elevator hallway. I couldn't believe my eyes. My jaw dropped so low it nearly hit the floor. It was my parents, none other than Stan and Randy Zipzer. They were standing in the hallway of our apartment, swaying, singing, tamburining, as if they were still in Philadelphia at the Stone Cold Rock concert. My mom was wearing a black t-shirt with the band's faces on the front and the words, "I'm whacked out crazy for you," in hot pink on the back. She was sparkly glitter all mixed in her hair, but it was my dad who was the most shocking. He was wearing black leather pants. And let me just say right now, they were tight black leather pants. My dad doesn't spend a lot of time at the gym, so those pants were tight in places where pants are not supposed to be tight, especially the tummy area. He was wearing a black leather hat that made him look like a cross between Britney Spears and the leader of a tough motorcycle gang. And he was singing at the top of his lungs, banging a tambourine on his hip. "Dad, where did you get those pants?" I asked without losing a second. "From Skeeter," he answered, then slapped the tambourine hard on the other hip. The door to Mrs. Fink's apartment flew open, and she stuck her head out. At first, she looked scared, but when she saw it was just my parents, she stepped into the hall and started dancing with my dad. She was wearing her big pink bathrobe, and I guess she hadn't put her false teeth in yet, because when she smiled, she was all gums and no teeth. My dad twirled her around a few times. She looked like a big pink polar bear I saw in a Disney cartoon once. "Oh, did you kids have fun?" she asked my dad. Of course, we couldn't hear her over the tambourine banging, but I could read her lips through the open door. My dad didn't answer. He just grabbed onto her robe and spun her around again. She laughed, and I noticed that her gums matched her robe. I wonder if she planned it that way. "We're home, kids," my dad shouted when the song ended. "No kidding. We wouldn't have known unless you told us," I was thinking. "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Hank," my father kept saying over and over again. "Kids, you would not believe your father," my mom said as she almost skipped into our apartment. At one point, the crowd picked him up and passed him around the audience. "Your dad." "But Dad, I thought you didn't like rock music," Emily said. "It's different when you see it live," my dad said, wiping some sweat off of his forehead and arms. "I guess those leather pants don't let a lot of cool air in. I'm so glad you all convinced me to go. I really got my groove on." He got his what on? Did he just say groove? Please tell me he didn't say that. And the band could not have been nicer on the bus ride home, said my mom. Turns out Skeeter, the drummer, is a crossword puzzle whiz, and Stan, the man here, challenged Skeeter. All call him Skeet, to a New York Times triple crossword contest. Who won? Emily asked. It was a tie, my father answered as he rattled his new tambourine above his head and slammed it into his right hip again. But I'm down with that. Dad, I said, trying to clear my ears to make sure I was hearing correct. Did you just say you're down with that? No, Hank, he answered, drumming out the beat on the coffee table. I said I'm down with that. Skeeter says you don't pronounce the th, and I'm down with that. This is the same Skeet whose pants you're wearing? That's right, my dad said. We're moving on. We were on the bus coming home, and I leaned over to help Skeet with a clue. I think it was 39 down, or maybe 42 across, unless it was 6 down. That was a tricky one. Dad, the pants, remember? Oh, right. Well, when I leaned over to help Skeet, wouldn't you know, I ripped my trousers right up the middle. It was so funny we all cracked up, my mom said, cracking up again. So Skeet says to me, take my extra pants. And I did. They look pretty darn cool, don't they, son? Oh boy, I have fallen into a dream that my dad has become a rock and roll freak and I can't wake up. Someone hit the snooze button on my clock radio. My dad strutted over to Papa Pete and danced in a circle around him, shaking his butt as much as the tight leather pants would allow him. Papa Pete laughed and shook his butt right back at him. You can't out-butt shake Papa Pete. Hey, Papa Pete, my dad laughed. Let me see you shake that thing. Let me point out that he didn't say thing. He said thang. My father, Stanley L. Zipzer, computer buff, mechanical pencil collector, crossword puzzle nut, just said, shake that thing. Grabbing my mom, he launched into a chorus of another Stone Cold rock song, Rockin' All Night in the Meadow with You, pounding the tambourine on his hip in time to the wild beat. Ow, that hurts, he said, rubbing his hip when he finished the song. I have to find a new part of my body to play this with. Well, that did it. Emily and Papa Pete burst out laughing, and I did too. Hey, next time, use your butt, I offered. We all laughed. I think I even saw Catherine's scaly lip pull back into a smile. I never knew my dad could be so much fun. Well, my mom said, I hate to break up the party, but we have to hurry off now. We'll see you kids later. Where are you going? I asked, the smile still on my face from watching my dad's performance. To school, of course, my mom said. It's parent-teacher conference day. We have a 1 o'clock meeting with Miss Adolph. Did I just say I had a smile on my face? Correction. Suddenly, there was no smile on my face. It had disappeared faster than you can say redo. And that's where we'll leave off.